This is a story about perseverance and pushing through when things get tough. The 2024 season started out with this sense of endless possibilities and tons of potential. I was going to have more time to hunt, more opportunities of places to hunt, in a season with more flexibility in my schedule than I've ever had in my life, allowing me to pursue more deer, more states to fill tags. It was going to be the dream season. I started out my season with a strong sense of direction, with tons of promising deer on camera, dates set to hunt all new locations, my wife quickly tagging her buck in October. It seemed to be the dream season in the making, but all that quickly went sideways. Opportunities that seemed so perfect slipped by. Bucks were being missed, target bucks were disappearing, neighbors were killing off bucks that had so much potential, dogs running off deer, the list goes on. My season went from an all-time high feeling to an all-time low. And by early December, I was pretty well discouraged. With nothing showing up, not many deer left to chase. On the properties I had access to, there really wasn't much left to do, other than watch cameras and hope something came around. However, things quickly turned around in late December when I made a quick trip to New York and tagged my target buck on that property in a short 45-minute hunt. It seemed like a switch had flipped. This was a total opposite of how the whole rest of my season had been going. And this new sense of optimism came over me, and I just began to hit it hard again in Ohio. Not that I ever let off the gas in the first place, but I had this whole new drive. After a few weeks of scouting new areas, spreading cameras like wildfire, not a whole lot of luck, which is when we arrived to the week of January 15th, when my 4-year-old son was begging me to take him hunting for the first time that season. But with it being single digits, I had to keep my son warm, which takes us to my dad's property, where he had a nice airtight elevated blind that would be easy to heat and keep him out of the elements, which leads us to where we are today, January 15th, 2025. Enjoy the video.
We got Marshall here, we're all set up. You excited? You think we're gonna see some bucks tonight? You think we're gonna kill one? Oh dude, I hope we do. Wouldn't that be so fun? We've got the crossbow, Rage hypodermic, Canon camcorder, extra bolts, some water. He's got a backpack full of cheese crackers and Cheerios. We got the heater running. This joint is like, I don't even know. It's like 70 degrees in this blind door. This thing is insane. It's on low too, and it just puts off so much heat. But we're gonna keep the windows closed. They started to fog up at first, but you can see the top half of this one's starting to defog already, and this one's starting to defog because the heat's been on long enough. It's like changing the temp in here completely. There's essentially 2 different bucks that were in here after, unless something new totally shows up. There would have been 4, but 2 of those 4 have shed their antlers in the last 2 or 3 days, so they are starting to drop quick, and we're just hoping we can kill something before they all drop. Now, you know, who knows the reasons why those other bucks dropped when they did. One of them looked like he had a back hip injury, like a hindquarter injury, like he might have been hit by a car. So, who knows, maybe he just stressed out a lot and then dropped, and then the other one looked like he had maybe been hit in the shoulder with a bow or something sometime in the season, and sometimes that stress will just make them, you know, drop their antlers sooner or later. But anyway, we're gonna hold tight. It's a beautiful location. You can't really see out too well, but you can see we're down in a real big ravine. There's a creek that comes way down in here, and it drops right out towards where you walk in right there. So right now it's going straight that way towards the truck, and there's also a real deep creek that pulls your scent right down into it. So we should be in pretty good shape. I think we're gonna see something tonight. Just hopefully it's one of the 2 big ones that were in here after. I got my camera set up and ready to go. The only thing that's tricky about this is I'm gonna try to hunt with the window closed, and then just crack the window when I can see that there's deer getting ready to move in. So we're just gonna keep our eyes peeled and really, really scan around for deer, and that way we see them, you know, hopefully long before they get down in front of us, and I can just lean over, pull that up 4 or 5 inches, and then I'm just gonna be able to swivel a crossbow straight towards the feeder, and then boom, that'll be it. Yes, it is essentially shooting a gun that's a lot slower, but essentially a gun, which is perfect for this application. But anyways, guys, we're gonna hang tight, and hopefully we kill some deer. He finally cooperates and he doesn't have a rack. So maybe one's coming in. Don't move. Don't move, don't move. Daddy, listen. Daddy's gonna open the window. Do not make any noise. So sorry to pickle. Pickle. Dude, that's Daddy's biggest buck.
Yes.
Oh,
He did it.
oh my gosh.
Oh my
Are
god.
you freaking kidding me? Well, guys, we just shot
You shot a big buck.
a big buck.
Yeah.
An abnormal looking
Yes.
frame and rack on this deer,
Yes.
but
Yes.
one of the coolest deer
Yeah.
I've ever shot. Hands
Okay,
down.
no.
Did we do it?
Yes.
We freaking did it.
Yes.
How big is he?
Big buck.
This is his first hunt of the season and my 122nd hunt or something crazy.
Yeah.
Was that the most fun ever?
Yes.
I literally said on the way here, I said if I shoot a buck with Marshall tonight, it'll be the highlight of our hunting together.
Yeah. Yes, we did it.
We did it. You want to go see him?
Yeah.
Let's go see him. Let's go down there. We're going to go check him out, guys. I'm so excited.
Can you show us where the buck's at?
Yep. Right there.
Right
To the
there?
woods.
Into the woods?
To the woods.
Let's go find him. Look the other way, buddy.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh, these eyeballs. Oh my.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Well, how did we do, Marshall?
Gee.
Did it turn out good? We're not taking pictures. This is a video.
Ah.
Did we do good?
Yep, we shot a big buck.
We got a
Yes.
we got a really big buck.
Yes, we get
And
big.
he's definitely the oldest deer I've probably shot. In terms of score, he's going to be right up there, close to my biggest one, but by far the most rewarding deer I've ever
Big
shot.
buck.
Big buck.
And I did it in the ways that I never thought I would have done it. I'm on a corn feeder, which,
Yeah.
you know, I plant all these food plots at my house, all these things, like I'm not going to be the corn feeder guy, I'm going to actually put in the work, and I shoot a deer over a corn feeder. I shoot compound, then of course I take out the crossbow, and I shoot him with a crossbow. And at the end of the day,
shot this.
you start to realize how much more you just appreciate hunting in general. Not necessarily what you're using or what you're planting or what you're
Nasty.
using to feed your
Nasty
deer.
blood.
He's got a lot to say too.
Nasty deer blood.
Just beyond grateful. I mean, my wife knows
Life.
how much I've been stressing over this season. I'm like trying to find a big
It was
buck,
big
trying to
buck.
locate one,
Railroad.
and just trying to make something happen. I'm like,
This happened, dudes. That happened. Happened times.
it was a hard season. It was a long season, and
Big buck, blood buck.
the buzzer beater buck,
The breast beater, the beater.
way worth the wait. I mean, holy
Big
smokes,
buck. And the flyy duck.
well worth the wait. Just so happy with how the hunt went. He was with me, which made everything just so much better. I was trying to shoot one with my wife earlier in the season. It just didn't pan out because we want to shoot a buck together too.
This is Dad. Kick.
But everything happens for a reason, and the season played out the way that it did, and I learned a lot of lessons this year about myself and about hunting in general and deciding what I really love about it. And he's going to get us run over with a whole herd of them here in a minute.
Marshall,
and,
stop.
Couldn't be happier.
It's a miracle that you shot a deer.
Well, he's not screwing around until now. He was doing great. No, we're not actually playing with that right now. We're trying
Lainey.
look at the buck. Do you want to hold it?
What do you think about the
You want
buck?
to hold that?
Is it a big buck back?
Let's stay here.
Oh my goodness. Is that not a giant deer?
Yeah. Giant deer was shot. Can you move over here?
I'm just so happy. So
I'm
happy.
gonna take a picture. Wait. You go around the mom.
Okay,
and I'll go
okay.
picture.
You hold him up. How about it's just you? You tell me about him. You tell me what happened.
Let's go.
Yeah, tell me all about it.
This buck is shot. This is a beautiful shot. This is 5 bucks. That kills harder.
Dad kills him harder.
Kill.
This season was harder, that's for sure.
How old is he?
$5 are free.
He's
He
5.
said $5. He
$5.
probably is.
Shoot.
How many points does he have?
Big antler bucks.
Big antler. What do you think he scores, Marshall?
I don't know.
Good answer.
I don't know what to say, but
when it comes to late season, we just kind of have a thing for that,
I
right?
do love how Ohio goes until February because it gives you a chance to shoot these deer that normally they don't freaking daylight unless they're dying of starvation.
I can't wait to see this thing. Oh my gosh, dude. Are you freaking kidding me? Dude. Are you joking right now?
Freaking eye guard points, bro. Didn't even know you had
Bro. That's a freaking hammer. Holy crap. Look at the freaking mass on that deer, bro. Oh my gosh.
Look at it from the side, how funky his rack shape is.
That's crazy.
So cool.
Dude,
Reagan's like,
what?
it reminds me of my big buck. Like the
Yeah.
odd shaped rack with not a lot of points, but tons of mass. And
What
You know what I
did
mean?
you just do, bro?
bro, I broke all the rules that I say I don't hunt by. Used a crossbow. There's a corn feeder right there. Like, I was telling Reagan this, I'm like, man, you know how hardcore I am about food
Yeah,
plots and
yeah.
bedding areas, and, and all that stuff's
Right.
important, but I'm like, I killed this deer. First off, this deer's never daylighted on any of the cameras on his property, ever, the whole season. This is the first time. The least likely deer to show up, and half the other bucks here have already shed their antlers. The first buck that showed up tonight, I knew what deer it was because he has a weird, like, discoloration around his eyes. It's a 125-inch 8-point that 3 days ago was showing up in daylight with a rack, and then he came today, no rack. And I'm like, oh
Dang.
my gosh, dude. I was thinking, well, that's it. You know, none of the other deer have been showing up, daylight. So it's like, what's going to happen? And then this deer comes walking in. I'm like, you got to be kidding. But like what I was saying is, I'm like hardcore food plots, bedding areas, all this stuff. And I'm like, man, you don't need corn piles. You don't need crossbows, all this stuff. Like whatever. Like I'm not like anti these things, but I'm like, you don't need them
Right.
in Ohio to be able to kill deer like this. And then, dude, there's not a food plot on this property. The food plot we planted up there didn't grow. Like it's weeds. There's,
Crazy.
I was using a crossbow because I had a tripod, camera gear. My son's in there. I'm like, drawing my compound and shooting in that little shooter shack is gonna be kind of a pain in the butt. I don't want him to stick his finger in the cam when I go to shoot. Something
Right.
could happen.
Especially, I mean, it's not like you have a extremely short bow kind of thing where it's like
No.
easy.
So it's like, I'm hunting with a crossbow on a corn feeder in a shooter shack. and I'm happy.
Like, dude, it's as good as it gets right there.
Dude, and like my appreciation for just other styles of hunting, like once you are forced through the season to actually have to hunt all these different ways and experiment all these different things, like I've gone so hard. My property, permission property, like from family, public land yesterday, the real field was -5, trying to shoot a deer from the ground, and I came close. I've done every different style of hunting I can think of that you can do in Ohio. The way it ended up killing a deer was with the most common way people do it here.
Yeah.
Corn and a crossbow.
That's crazy.
And I'm happy about it, bro.
Dude, I hear you though. Like this year has been more fun. Like, I mean, just kind of stepping back from just only hunting compound, only hunting mobile, that kind of stuff, to where this year, I mean, I've definitely been in that same boat of like, man, let's go hunt some public. Let's go out with the muzzleloader, just freaking walk around. Like that kind of stuff's been.
And a lot of it was
fun.
out of necessity. Like,
Yeah, right.
our seasons have been like, don't get me wrong, I've seen more deer this season than ever.
Same.
But the actual within bow range opportunities have been the least amount I've ever had. So I was forced to diversify and try new things. I'm like, okay, I thought my property was going to be the ticket. Like I got all these food plots, all this stuff. And then right after gun season, all my bucks disappeared. And I don't know if it's because they probably all got shot because conditions were perfect and all the neighbors hunt. Well, that plan's out the window, then I'm trying to hunt, that other spot, I hunt. Well, it's hard to hunt because it's a bull and the deer only want to be in there in the evenings, which is,
Right.
the least ideal time for them to come through there with swirling winds and stuff. Man, how is this going to come together? And the only buck I really want to shoot at my dad's just shed its antlers. This buck doesn't daylight. Well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, bro.
Oh man, the Lord.
He
definitely-
provides, bro.
Yeah, man.
He provides.
Talk about a deer, man. I'm telling you, bro, that deer right now behind this camera, I mean, and in person, but that deer looks freaking, that deer is huge, dude. Dude, I'm so happy for you, dude. That is freaking awesome. I mean, a 7-point, dude? I think I can
Technically an 8, but
technically
he's a
an 8,
7-point
but
frame
yes,
deer.
7-point mainframe.
He's a 7-point frame deer, yeah.
I mean, that, I don't know that I've really seen, especially not in camera or in person in Ohio, ever seen a 7-point like that. Even close to that, honestly. That's freaking unreal.
And we think we know what deer it was from last year. We'll have to go back and really look through photos. And he was here as just a 6. And we thought he was 4 last year, but he was just a 6. So he didn't have this point here, and he didn't have this eye guard. But he just had nice brows, good G2. They weren't this long. They were, 9 inches or 8 inches, but they weren't like They weren't quite as long. He threw a
Yeah.
lot of length on this one.
Well, he even, like, what's funny is he kind of reminds me, I mean, a little bit, the only deer I can even compare it to is almost like that giant 6 that Lee shot
Right.
in Georgia. He almost has kind of a similar frame to him, which
Isn't
is
there
just
something just
absurd.
cool about a deer that's abnormal?
It is.
Like, it's
I
just
love
so
them, man.
unique.
I love seeing abnormal, just different looking deer, which he definitely is.
I'm happy with this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just stoked. So stoked, dude.
Anything to close here, man?
Dude, if you've had a rough season, whether it's this season or the season coming, and you want to give up when you get halfway through January and your
Like me,
season ends in 2
like me
weeks,
right now.
don't cave in. Keep going after it. Like, tomorrow my plan was to hammer public, the next day hammer public, the next day hammer public, and then when we had those single digit temps and negative temps coming in, getting back on a private and, you know, hunting feed where these deer, like, they're only coming in when it's blistering cold. You know, like, they're not just hanging out at feeders.
And I mean, you know better than anybody. I mean, people think it's so easy. Just the biggest problem is, I mean, you have everybody in the state
Everybody's
is doing the
it.
same thing. So I mean, these deer, I mean, within a square mile, there's probably, I don't know, 10, 20 different corn piles.
There's literally a tree stand 50 yards away right there from some other guy
Yeah.
that's right on the property line, probably trying to hunt the deer coming to our feed.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably, well, if they're going to pay for it, I'll just hunt the property line and see what's coming down the trail on their way. It's like,
Right.
whatever. You can't do anything about it. But, like, that's the thing. And I hear people say, like, oh, you know, like, you know, if I could bait in my state, I'd kill every buck in the woods. It's like, well, yeah, but it's illegal in your state, so you probably would. Like,
Exactly.
it probably would be easier because your neighbors aren't doing it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it does have its challenges. You know, like, clearly, like, it's an advantage this time of the year when nobody else is hunting anymore and it's blistering cold. Like, they start to kind of acclimate to feeling comfortable using them.
Mm-hmm.
But undoubtedly, the majority of the season, it is not just the winning ticket to, like, oh, dude, you're gonna get a big one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this deer this feeder's been here since August.
Goodness.
First time he stuck his nose in it was today, middle of January.
Crazy.
So if that tells you anything, I'm glad he chose to do it today. Got to shoot him with my son standing there watching, and the most proud hunting moment of my life, you know, with my son. It's first time hunting out for the season. I'm like, I had this feeling on my way. I'm like, why do I feel like I'm going to shoot one of my biggest bucks tonight when it's like, he's kind of loud. I'm carrying these extra chair and the heater in, you know, because he's got to stay warm, all this stuff. And I'm like, why do I feel like it's going to happen tonight? Even though, like, I'm taking him out because I want him to get out and I want him to see some deer, you know, I want him to be comfortable. But I'm thinking, like, you know how it is. You're taking a 4-year-old hunting.
Right.
It's like, something's going to go wrong. like the Luke Combs song, he's talking about you're going to go hunt, but he knows he's not going to see anything. It's like, that was just kind of just wanted to take him out, you know, just to see something. Thinking I'm probably not going to be able to get a shot. Something's probably going to spook, or who knows, but he's going to get a little too excited and scare him off. But go figure, he got dead silent when he saw the deer coming. He's like, dude, that's a big buck. Dad, that's a big one. He's like whispering in my ear. And I slide the window, and he's like, just looking right down the scope of the crossbow with me. He's like, are you going to shoot him? Are you going to shoot him? Let me know when you're going to shoot him. Like, he's just like, it's like he knew. He's like, dude, this is going to happen. Like, this is going to happen. He got, like, real quiet. He stopped moving, just kind of, like, put his arm on my shoulder. He's like, when are you going to shoot him? It was the best thing ever.
Dude, that's awesome. Absolutely.
And then he's like, we got to call Papaw. We got to call Papaw. Because it's my dad's property here, so he wanted to call Papaw. I mean, I could go on forever about how excited I am about this, but... Well, thanks for coming out, Ty, and getting some video, and we're going to snap some pictures here and get this old brute hauled out of here, man.
Awesome.